The Century HDPE Enviropans are the state-of-the-art railroad spill containment pans designed to provide the most compliant, durable, and safest environment at your railcar transloading racks, locomotive fueling, and car wash facilities. Over the past 3 decades, Century has been a leading supplier of railroad spill containment systems to Class 1 and short line railroads, light rail transit authorities, industrial and petrochemical facilities, as well as the U.S. military and deep water ports worldwide. The following demonstration is for installing 60 foot of Century's HDPE Enviropan. Begin your installation by measuring the location of cross drains, which are 30 foot center to center of each cross drain. The standard 30-foot system has 2 15-foot sections with 1 cross drain in the center. Once the location of the cross drains are marked, remove ballast from between the cross ties and on the outsides of the ties to be able to move the ties, allowing for 24 inches between the cross ties. Move the cross ties over to a measurement of 24 inches between the ties where the cross drain is to be installed. Clear the ballast from between the cross ties down to the bottom of the ties. Now, slide the cross drain in between the cross ties. Slide the cross drains to a point where the center of the cross drain lines up with the center of the track, halfway between the inside of each rail, which would be 28 1/4 inches for the standard 50 1/2 inch track gauge. It is important that the cross drains are placed perpendicular to the rail. Start by marking from where the center of the cross drain will be 36 inches one way. From your 36-inch mark, measure over to the opposite rail 67 inches and mark it to find the center location for the cross drain on that side of the rail. Align the marked center of the cross drains with the location marked on the rail on both sides to ensure they are perpendicular or 90 degrees to the rail. Once the cross drain is aligned with the mark on the rail, double-check your measurements to ensure that the center of the cross drains are still aligned with the center of the track. Once the cross drain is properly aligned, tamp the ballast around both sides of the cross drain until the top is 1 inch below the bottom of the rail. Make sure all center lines are maintained while tamping. Check to make sure that the cross drains on both ends are 1 inch below the bottom of the rail. Install the second cross drain, placing it 30 foot from the center of the first cross drain installed. Ensure the cross drains are properly aligned and perpendicular to the rail in the same manner shown when installing the first cross drain. Once the cross drains are installed and the piping is hooked up, build up the ballast shoulders level with the top of the cross ties, a distance of 48 inches from the outside ball of the rail outward. Make sure the cross drains maintain a 30-foot center-to-center measurement and are perpendicular to the rail while connecting the discharge piping. The standard Century Enviropans and cross drains are designed to receive a standard 6-inch FNPT piping. Once the discharge piping is connected and installed, the ballast shoulder should be built up level with the top of the cross ties and 48 inches out from the outside ball of rail. Clear all ballast off the top of the cross ties and level ballast to approximately ½ inch below the top of the cross ties. It is very important to make sure that all ballast is removed from the top of the cross ties and there is no ballast in the cribs of the ties, that is above the top of the ties. Once all cross drains have been installed with piping and the ballast shoulders extended out 48 inches from outside ball of rail, start installing the Enviropans by placing the bottom gauge pans in first. The bottom gauge pan is marked at the cross drain discharge hole on the end of the gauge pan. Ensure the downspout of the pan is centered over the center cross drain downspout hole. The outside edges of the gauge pan should rest on top of the ball of the rail. When installing the pans, always place the downspouts over the cross drains. Push the downspout using your foot into the center cross drain hole as far as it will go. When installing the gauge pan, allow one side of the flashing to be placed under the rail and the opposite side flashing will be against the ball of the rail, allowing the discharge drain to be pushed into the cross drain. Push the flashing that is on top of the rail under the ball of the rail. Install the top gauge pan in the same manner as the bottom gauge pan. Push the downspout of the top gauge pan into the cross-drain hole and then push the flashing under the ball of the rail by pushing it down with your foot. Once all gauge pans are installed, install the filled pans on the outside of the rail by placing 2 end restraint rods approximately at the center of the filled pan and one approximately 12 to 18 inches from the end of the pan. Slide the filled pan restraint rod under the rail sideways and then turn the hook up and pull back until it latches into the base of the rail. Install all of the filled restraint rods about center of the pans and approximately 12 to 18 inches from the overlapping end of the pans. Begin installing the filled pans by placing the downspout over the cross-drain hole and the flashing over the top of the ball of the rail to allow the outside edges to be placed in the 2 filled restraint clips. With the downspout of the filled pan over the hole of the cross drains, start pushing the filled flashing under the ball of the rail by pushing down with your foot. Install the opposite bottom filled pan labeled B2 by installing the 2 filled restraint rods under the base of the rail, turning it up and pulling back on the hook to the base of the rail. Install the opposite filled pan with the downspout over the cross drain hole. Hook the outside edge of the filled pan to the restraint rods and set the flashing on top of the ball of rail. Push the pan flashing under the ball of the rail by pushing it down with your foot. Ensure the pan downspout is properly placed over the downspout hole in the cross drain. Install the top filled pans labeled T1 and T2 on both sides of the track, placing the downspout over the cross drain holes. Slide the edge of the filled pans into the filled restraint clips. Then, push the downspout into the cross-drain hole and then push the flashing under the ball of the rail. Install the opposite filled pans labeled T2. Ensure the outside edge of the filled pans are in the restraining clips. Now, push the flashing under the ball of the rail using your foot. Place approximately 4 inches of ballast over the outside lips of the filled panels to assist in holding the filled pans and ensure proper alignment after they are installed. Install the stainless steel gratings over the discharge holes in each of the pans to help prevent debris from flowing into the drain system. You have just seen 30 track foot of the Century HDPE Enviropans installed. Should you have any additional questions, please contact your Century sales representative or give us a call at 800-527-5232. At Century, we appreciate your business and want to work with you and your team to make sure the HDPE Enviropans are properly installed and to ensure compliance with government regulations and to protect our environment. Thank you for your attention.